Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Nick Butcher email show. For the eagle-eyed of you, you would have noticed the show has changed name. Yes, I've decided to make some changes. So not only has the name changed, but the format has changed somewhat as well. So hello for those that haven't been here before. My name is Nick Butcher. I'm a bit of a emu. I'm not an emu. I'm an email guru. I might have to change that because I wasn't going to call myself an emu. I was given some feedback by my partner to say that I needed to be a little bit more personal. So as you might be able to see in the background, I quite like Lego. So there's something new that you might have not known or maybe have guessed from the background. So the idea of the show is to effectively talk about all things email. So as an email expert, my day job is to help businesses get email delivered, get it into the inbox, get it technically trusted, all lots of different things that I help many of my customers with. But this email show is a bit of a daily sort of blast into everything email. And so I've come up with effectively some sort of a format for the show. This is only the third show, I think it is, that actually has been working. The first show we don't count because it was a black screen. There was lots and lots of technical challenges, but I'm learning. Anyway, this is now the format of the show. So we're going to have a little welcome to the new format, which we're at. We're going to talk a little bit about email news. I'm going to hopefully have some guests. There's a section called Roasted Spam, which has got nothing to do with actual spam, but more email spam. And I say actual spam, that's the food spam. And then we're going to talk about today's inbox hack, and then we're going to have some questions. If anybody wants to post some questions, please do so in the comments and we'll pick it up at the end. Can be anything relating to email in terms of using email, delivering email. I'm a bit of a email delivery expert. So anything relating to anything email, basically. And we'll go through the questions at the end. So I'm having to drive this as well as obviously talk. So it's a multitasking situation. Let's talk a little bit about email news. Now, this feature, I'm going to sort of give some news about email. It's a brand new feature and I haven't got anything yet, so I'm still working on it. So a lot of what we've got in terms of the new format is all just me trying things for the first time today. So we'll go through it all together. But email news, what I'm going to be doing is having a look at what's working, what's not working in the world of email. And that could be outbound email, that could be newsletters, that could be conversational email, could be Google, all sorts of different things are happening. So I promise for the next show that I will have a whole section all about email news. And I may even shuffle some papers and be like a proper news presenter. But for now, we don't have much email news other than this is a new show. So I suppose the Nick Butcher email show is new. That is today's news. Very exciting. The same for the guest spot. So in future episodes, I'm going to be inviting some guests to come along to talk about whatever it is that they are an expert in, or in terms of how it can help us, anything email. So if you want to come along as a guest, then please let me know. So you can put something in the comments. You can message me on LinkedIn. This is also going out on YouTube, so you can message me on the community forum there. Just basically get a hold of me somehow and let me know that you might be able to have something that we can have on as a guest. The types of things, it's a very small spot, effectively 5-10 minutes, but it's really just to talk about anything email related. One day it would be nice. My dream on this spot is to get maybe the head of Gmail or the head of Hotmail or the head of Microsoft Mail or head of SendGrid, anybody that is quite influential in the world of email mailboxes and that sort of thing, to give us their view on things, because it's interesting from a deliverability point of view. So I spend a lot of my time helping people send email in the right way. And what I mean by that is I help a lot of customers with getting emails into the inbox and understanding the mailbox providers' policies, if you like, because they all publish them and they all are very important in terms of how you can get emails delivered into the inbox and avoid the spam filter. But as we're just about to see in a second into our next feature, there's quite a bit that can be done and should be done, because there's an awful lot of lazy email which ends up in spam, and that's the right place for it. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, I've got this bit of a situation with this light behind me. So it's a lovely light. This used to be my partner's yoga studio, so I may have to change the light because at the moment I bang my head on it for a start, but also it looks like I've got some sort of UFO sort of hovering over my head. So we'll have to see that as it changes. But yes, the guest spot is to obviously have guests on and to talk about this. Obviously, this is a daily show, so it's going to get very boring very quickly if I don't have some guests on, because everybody's going to get very bored of me, or maybe my presenting style will improve. Who knows? So if you know or would like to be a guest, or know of anybody that'd like to be a guest, get in touch. And the idea being is that obviously they come on and talk about things. So that is the guest spot. Now the next part is called roasted spam. This is one of my favorite bits, actually, and I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, so I'm quite excited about this. And I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, but we'll just figure it out. Roasted spam is basically me having a look at somebody's spam folder. Now it could be the guests, it could be anybody that wants to come on and share their spam folder, maybe get some real juicy spam in it, who knows. But basically, what we'll do is we'll have a look at the emails and try and figure out between us why that might be going to the junk folder or to spam. So let's see if this works. The only problem with this is I think I'm going to have to change camera, but let me see, because if I add that and then that. So this is my spam folder. Today's roasted spam section is going to be me roasting my own spam. There we go. That's a bit of a big banner, isn't it? Let's get rid of that. So let's have a quick look. So I have many email accounts, lots of different ones here, but let's have a look at, in fact, I'm just going to move that over there from a bit of a security point of view. Let's have a quick look at some email here. So I sign up to a lot of people that pretend to know a lot about email. Most of their emails that they send me, in fact, pretty much all of them land in the junk folder. And so this is a great example of one. I think this is, I'm not even sure who this is from or anything, but this is, we're viewing this in junk folder mode, so you don't see any images or anything else like that. But if we have a look at this, and I'm conscious of the fact that I'm moving, so I may just change my camera, and then I might feel a little bit happier about this. There we go. Ooh, look at that. Change of camera. I could be a live television host as it is. Hopefully you can still hear me because the microphone's slightly to the side. Let's move that there. Okay. Obviously, please give me feedback on all of this. It's all very new and I'm just trying things, and I want it to be a little bit entertaining, and it's never going to be perfect. So let's see how it goes. Right. The first email I'm going to have a quick look at is this one here. Very exciting. They're sort of signed up to the let's keep the email short bit. There's a couple of problems with the content straight away, but let's not go into the content. Let's just have a quick look at the source, because this is my kind of territory. But I'm not going to go too much into here because there's an awful lot in here. But what I'm going to do is have a look at this bit here, authentication results. So to get email delivered, you need to have email trusted, you need to have a good reputation, and you need to have good engagement. So the first part is trusted. This is all about authentication results, whether it passes SPF, DKIM, DMARC, all that sort of thing. We'll go into that at another time, but ultimately your emails have to pass all of those. This email does. It passes SPF, it passes DKIM, and it passes DMARC. So, big tick from that perspective. However, that's not all of it, and there is a little bit more to it than that. And we could delve deeper into their domain, but for the moment, we'll just leave it at that. But that's not necessarily what's caused this to go into spam. So if you don't have this one specifically, if you don't have SPS passing, for example, it will automatically go to junk. But that's not the reason why this has gone into the junk folder, because all of those are passing. So, theoretically, it's a trusted email from that respect. It's semi-trusted. There's a bit more I can go into, but let's just say it's semi-trusted. The important stuff is actually a bit further down. So this is what's called the email headers, and there's loads and loads of information in here. So it's the likes of me dive into these whenever there's any problems, but it helps us to determine why this email has gone to spam. So I'm on Microsoft, and Microsoft at the moment are getting a little bit of a hit from everybody saying that Microsoft are putting a lot to the spam folder. So let's try and figure out why. This has a score of 5. So if you look at the reason why this has a score of 5, and if I just bring yeah, I haven't got the page. I've got a page as to where the scores are, but basically anything over a 1 is considered to be junk or spam. So this is a 5. There is a few other elements to this as well. There is, so Microsoft has spam scored this as a 5. There is something down here called the BCL score as well, and that's the bulk score. So how many times has this been seen as a bulk email and being reported as spam and all that sort of thing? That's got a 4. So the same again, anything sort of higher on the BCL score and the SCL score will automatically put it into the junk folder. So these have scored quite high on these two. Now, the reason that's scoring quite high on these two is because it's not really a very engaging email. The bulk is quite high, so that means that it's sent or it's seen a lot. There's very little personalization in terms of this. It's just the name. So the rest of it is seen many, many times over in terms of bulk email. But the biggest problem with this, there's no call to action as being a reply. So the way to get engagement in all of this is by having a reply. So there's no reply. This is just links. So the engagement is really, really low. And this is what we can see from these scores here, is that we can tell that the engagement is really, really low because these scores are high. And we can see that because it's just a clicking here, click here. It's going to junk. Not many people are looking at it. So not really surprising. And it's a very similar story for a lot of these. Let's have a look at a completely different one. So I think this is another sort of email one. We've got a text email. This is actually from somebody who is an email expert, I think. Their email hit the junk folder, which happens to us all. So let's not necessarily get too excited about that. But again, the same problem here is that they're not asking for a reply. They've got some links. It's not particularly very valuable. And if we have a look at the scores here, We've got a score of 5. BCL is 0. So that means that the bulk score is quite low. So there's the numbers on being sent out on this are quite low. And when I say low, probably in the thousands, whereas the higher sort of hundreds of thousands tends to increase the bulk score. But it's got a spam score of 5, which means that it's been seen as spam. There's another one here which is actually sort of blank, so it hasn't necessarily, and I'll come back to what that means. There's a lot of code in here, but ultimately I'm just sort of picking out various ones that mean something. So the category here has been spam, so it's been categorized as spam, and that's mainly because the links, the engagement, and if you look in terms of the links as well, the link is a horrible link because it's one that is tracking links. Same with this one. Whilst it is actually the same domain, which is what you need to have, it's a horrible link in terms of tracking. So Microsoft have quite rightly picked that up, but also it's the content. The content itself is quite spammy, and engagement would be really, really low. So if you're going to send emails out with a really low engagement, then expect a high spam score. You've got to get that engagement piece. You've got to have that piece. So this is another sort of classic example of just sending out crap, basically, and expecting somebody to respond on it. I'm going to do another one here as well. Let's do this one. It was my birthday yesterday. I didn't say on the live yesterday. Maybe I should have done, but it's my birthday yesterday. I'm too old, very old. I'm not going to say my age. I know I only look about 30s, I wish. I'm much, 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 much older than that. Tens of years older than that. Anyway, it was my birthday yesterday, so I've got a free gift from Mr. Fogg. That was all very nice. Let's have a look at this one. So in terms of passing, and we didn't look at the last one, but I do seem to recall that it did pass. So if you have a look, SPF pass, DKIM pass, DMARC pass, it's all good. Generally speaking, these are the ones that fall over the most, and so far these ones have got that one working. If we scroll down, oh dear, we've got a spam score of 5. However, the BCL is 0, so that's one good thing. And I suspect there's a little bit of personalization going on here, but ultimately it's been seen as spam. If we have a look, there's the SRV is blank, so it's not being picked up that way, but the category is spam, so it's been categorized as spam, which means that somebody has reported this as spam multiple times. The content is felt as being spammy, so therefore it's got an SCL of 5, and it's probably not very much engaged upon. I didn't click on it. It went into my spam folder after all, and I haven't claimed my gift upon arrival or anything else like that. They're all got a very similar theme, haven't they, in terms of this spam score as being 5, and ultimately this is what Microsoft are effectively being quite aggressive on in terms of identifying spam. So there's a number of things they're also looking at where it's coming from. You know, all of this in here is sort of how they categorize it as spam. So it means not a lot to me. It means a lot to Microsoft, but ultimately there's bits in here that we can pick out that are the reason why it has been basically reported as or put into the junk folder and told as spam. I'm going to find one more because there's one that I want to show something on. Yeah, here we go. So I think a lot of people know Russell Brunson. Let's have a look at his emails. So his emails are, very much, click here, do this. There's a bit of a story, but generally speaking, this is a bit of a sales email from him. Let's have a look at the SPF is passing, DKIM is failing, DMARC is passing. Now, DKIM can fail and DMARC can still pass because DMARC needs SPF or DKIM, so either one. But either way, that's not great. So that would be a bit of a flag in terms of that would be the one thing I would fix. SPF DKIM has to pass in order to get into the inbox now. So that, for a start, would be causing somewhat of an issue. So that needs to be fixed. ClickFunnels needs to fix that in terms of their mailer. The interesting thing is that they've got a couple of signatures on here and both seem to be failing. So whilst DMARC is passing, that might well be sort of worth just having a look at that, and we could probably delve in a bit deeper into all of this, but I'm not going to do that on here because you'll all get very bored of my technical ramblings. But let's have a look. Look at this. We've got an SCL of 9. Now this is brilliant. BCL 7, SCL 9. Now, if you've got a really high BCL score, you automatically get a really high SCL score. So a BCL score is bulk. What that means is this email has been seen thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not a million times before. So it's being picked up as bulk, therefore the SCL score. Now, it has been said that I think that if you have a high bulk score, it adds 6 to the SCL score. So generally speaking, outside of that, it probably would have relatively had a fairly good engagement. I would have thought Russell Brunson would probably have quite a bit of engagement, but we can see from here that there's so much bulk going out that it's really, really affecting the SCL. The interesting thing is that actually you can see here that there's so much of that email going out that it's actually been where they're sending it from, which is this one here. That's the server that's sending it. It's bulk. So you can start to see a bit of a pattern in terms of why things land in the junk folder like they do. There we go. There's one literally come in. I've not looked at this before, but let's have a look at this one. So this is a bit of a more traditional sort of cold email, I suppose. I've not spoken to this person before. It is a recruitment consultant. They are sort of generally sending out the same types of emails. It's a bit boring, yada, 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 yada. But let's have a quick look at some of this stuff. So did I do that right? There's a view source. SPF is passing. DKIM is passing. Therefore, somewhere DMARC is passing. Yay! So we've got the first bit done. Let's have a quick look at some of this down here. So we've got an SCL score of 5 and a bulk score of 5. So yeah, there's really not much personalization in there. There is my name, but however, what I have noticed is that the call to action is a question, and the call to action is actually for me to reply, which is really good. There is one positive from all of this, is that the call to action is me replying. So therefore engagement should be fairly high. However, engagement is really low because they've got an SCL score of 5. So that means that the content of the email is not right. So you can start to see where things happen and where things land. And this is where, you know, looking into people's junk folders really, really starts to get a bit interesting for people like me. Maybe not so for other people. Right, I'm going to move over. I'm going to change the camera back again. There we go. Move the microphone because it's now my face. And we're now back on this. Well, I could be a TV presenter. Well, maybe not a TV presenter, maybe a producer. Right, let's have a quick look where we are in terms of, we've done our roasted spam. So today's email hack actually is a very simple one. We've noticed that as we've been going through all of those spam emails that I've been talking about, the same sort of thing. So I've been talking about SPF, DKIM and DMARC. That is today's hack, is to make sure that all emails you send pass SPF, DKIM and DMARC. If you don't know what that means, then you can search me out. I've got quite a lot of content, especially on LinkedIn, in terms of that. But also I've got a worksheet, or I'm just trying to my mind goes blank. I'm not going to be a TV presenter at this rate. I've got a playbook, something like that, whatever it is, a worksheet that helps you apply all of this. So if you want it, just comment somewhere, or either on YouTube or on LinkedIn, and just say, yeah, send me the thingy, playbook, workbook, whatever you want to call it. Send me the thingy, and I'll send it to you. And that's how you can apply SPF, DKIM and DMARC. It's pretty important, as I said, to get those in place, because if you don't, then your email ends up in my junk folder or somebody else's junk folder, and we don't want that. The next section of the show is about questions. We've got a few minutes left. We haven't got any questions today, but if you do have some questions, pop it into the comment section. I say we haven't got any questions. I'm looking at this through the studio software, so I'm hoping that everything works in that respect, as in if you put a question or put a comment into either the live stream on YouTube or on LinkedIn, that it pops up here. So let's hope so. But there's nothing that appears to be coming up. So the idea of the question section is you can ask anything relating to email. You can ask any question that might be about using email, about using the Outlook or Gmail, or sending emails, or anything that we spoke about. Yeah, any question, just ask away. And if you don't want to come on the live, or you just haven't been able to get onto the live at 11:30 every day, then just pop me a message and we'll do the question here. I'll pop it up on the screen and we'll answer the question. Obviously, these are all available via playbacks and things, so you'll be able to play it back. That's pretty much it. That's sort of the new format of the show. Obviously, I've got a little bit of work to do. I've got to get some news. I've got to get some guests. I've got to find more spam to sit there and roast. I've got some interesting ideas as well I'd like to discuss. I've seen quite a lot of things about really graphical emails, and I'd like to sort of explore that in terms of why they may be working versus other emails, and lots of different things. I'd like to get a copywriter on board in terms of a guest spot, and I'd like to bring them back quite a lot of time. So if you're a good copywriter, I know a copywriter, then get in touch. I'd quite like to get other deliverability experts, email experts, cold email experts, anything relating to email on in terms of a guest. So please shout. And of course, give me your feedback. If you didn't like the format of the show, if you'd like to see something else in terms of you think that I could talk about, let me know. Please don't let me suffer in silence every day. Just come along, 11:30, say hello and wave and ask a question. If not, give me some feedback, and I'll see you on the next one. So there is no live tomorrow. I say we're doing this every day except tomorrow. I've got a day trip out to Brighton, very exciting, but I'll be back on Thursday at 11:30 and then again on Friday at 11:30. So look out for it, join, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.